The number one reason most truckers fail in business and how to avoid it. That's what we're talking about here tonight, right when we do this show that we do. Whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. Hey, we'll see you in just a second.
Paying too much for trucking insurance? What if you could save more by making one simple phone call and keep more profit? You could very well do just that with one simple call to Seabright Agency, 800-366-6466. Call now.
Now here's a question that all owner-operators and small fleet owners should consider. What happens when you access the unrivaled advantages that are available through the ES Advantage program? We asked Jeff and Charlie from Contractors Corner to share their thoughts on how they've been able to utilize the discounts and services that are a part of the ES Advantage.
So we started looking for a way to save money on fuel. And we were turned on to the ES Advantage program for fuel first. So we got a hold of Jeff Reese and he ran us through that program. And man, we were starting to save. And then we started talking to them. Well, we saw their website and we said, Jeff, what's this thing about insurance and accounting and
Right.
you lease trucks? What?
Right, and that's the thing is we only knew it as a fuel card, and when we started digging deeper, I mean, we ended up getting hooked up with an insurance provider, Seabright Agency, and they created an entire insurance program just for us and our people. And from that, we've learned that, now there's even more potential. There's a greater opportunity, and it's completely opened up our eyes and broadened our vision into what it is we're trying to do, which is help people do better. Wrapped with the ES community, just makes that process so much easier.
Now, if you're an owner-operator or small fleet owner and you would like to learn more about how you can drive savings to the bottom line of your business, the ES Advantage program has the discounts and services that deliver the kind of unrivaled advantages that are designed to help you improve your overall operation. Get connected with the ES Advantage today.
Don't do that. Don't do
But
that. Nope.
but I love making you the center of the screen, Jeff.
I don't know why.
Gosh, man, because I like to see your bright, cheery face and your perfect hair. God, man. Exactly. I'm only slightly unsure, but I still have people watching me, Chris. I'm just saying. Chris was first. Tim was second. Lisa was third. Here's the answer to our question. The number one reason most truckers fail in business and how to avoid it, mindset change. All right, the end. Thanks for coming, guys. We'll see you next week. All right. Just kidding. It's a quick show right there.
That was a quick show.
Should we get deeper into that? I'm just saying.
I'm thinking.
Glad to see you guys, though. I should probably say hello to some people, Jeff, because, oh, look, there's Sandy. I saw Sandy. I like Sandy.
Yep.
Lisa, you're late. I'm not late. You're late. Don't tell me late, crazy person. I don't even know what you're talking about. You know what? You're banned. I'm just saying.
You ban people. You ban people 10 seconds at a time every week now, man. I don't know who showed you that button. I want to find them and give them a piece of my mind. I don't know. When Charlie learns about a new button, he's got to push it. That's just what it is.
Oh, watch this. Wait. Let's show them the one we just figured out. Watch. When we have a video playing in the background, we learned we could talk behind it and get in trouble. So watch. If we do something like this. Oh, you can still hear me, and I can do something really dumb right now.
Bad things that get us banned. That makes Hannah mad. Yeah.
Oh my God. Hi. We didn't even realize we could unmute ourselves during those little video reels. It's weird. I feel like it shouldn't even be a thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a dangerous button. thinking, oh, I'm just gonna let my little video reel play, and then you start cussing someone out in the background.
So, you know,
terrible.
one of the tools we have in this platform, Charlie, it's amazing. You know, we can chat privately, but that's one button that Charlie never pushes.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Oh my.
You see that? Is it making your head
Yeah.
hurt right now?
Yep.
I know, right? Thank you, John. I got Mountain Dew. I almost ran out. Here, you just give me. Yeah, thank you, sir. You're awesome.
So you went to the store, got your cigars, but didn't think to pick up more Mountain Dew?
I didn't go buy cigars today. I went and got a Wendy's Dave's double with no lettuce and 4 ketchups and a large fry. Then I went to Starbucks and got a venti cinnamon dulce frappuccino made with heavy cream and 2 shots cappuccino, and didn't get Mountain Dew. That's what happened.
Nice.
Don't start with me. I know what I did today. That's my entire day right there, by the way, because I'm a big train wreck because I don't have my emotional support wife. We're not even in the same county.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's okay. They didn't close my door. They brought me Mountain Dew, but they didn't close my door, and it's distracting me.
You're easily distracted. Run for it, Charlie. Run for it. There he goes.
Oh, God, ow, go.
You didn't break a hip, did you?
I might have fractured a femur. My
That's good
belt
alliteration
came
right there.
unbuckled. That was something.
No. Nobody wants to know.
You don't know. You don't
You're right,
know.
I don't.
Hey,
you're right. I
goody.
don't know
I haven't
because
seen
stuff.
Johnny Doby. Is that right? Good evening.
Yeah, I think so.
Greetings.
Matt Nissen got hit while he was parked last night.
That
We watched it
sucked.
unfold.
Oh my God, that sucked.
And if we were going to go squirrel, that's a good one, man. Because I actually did this on his personal Facebooks because he posted some pictures on his personal. I did point out. So he's got a dash cam, and you know one of the reasons to get away from the carrier insurance like Swift has and get your own is no camera mandate, right? However, highly recommend that you have a dash cam of your own on your truck.
Right?
So because of dash cam footage, Matt was able to nail the guy that did it, who basically hit and run, right? So he's got video proof that the guy actually did it, which helps a lot with insurance type claims and who's to blame and all this stuff. So please have a dash cam.
Right. See if I can find it. I know the video's here somewhere.
Oh, right. I haven't seen that yet.
Here it is. Let me pull it up. I'll throw it up for you. If I can make it work. Oh, that's not the right one. It's the other one. Okay, let me figure out how to share this one. There is some sound. I don't know if the sound will come through. Let's see. Share screen. Share screen.
Jeff's nowhere near Matt, Craig. Just saying. Lies.
Here we go.
It is so go ahead and roll it, and then I'll say what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes. You could talk over it.
Oh, is it?
But he's going to crunch him right here.
Yeah, the guy said that he didn't notice that he hit him.
Right.
Hey, Matt, you should send that to Bonehead Truckers and see if they'll pay you $200 for the video. I hear some of those guys actually pay for content.
Wait. You got to watch him set up because he's not done yet. He's not done yet. He's squaring up. He's getting closer to the middle. Somebody honked. And he stopped moving. It wasn't Matt, but somebody else watching him.
And off he goes.
Wait for it. Wait. He's not done, Jeff.
The heck?
Look at how he's lining up now.
Oh, he's going for your radiator now, Matt.
He wants to make sure you can't chase him.
Oh, my goodness.
I thought maybe he was going for the other side.
Where was this at, Matt? If you don't mind saying. Is that a Flying J? Am I seeing that right?
I probably should have asked your permission before I played this, Matt, but can I have your permission? Thank you, buddy. And now look at him.
He gone.
Now watch this. Watch it. This is great. He's like, well, the dude's not out here yet. He hasn't seen me. What should I do? Oh. Let me dip into another spot, nose in, so nobody can find me. And then he climbed in the sleeper. Didn't even come over and say nothing. I don't know. Matt, I don't know how much that you want me to tell, but man, shenanigans, I tell you. It's just lame.
Wow.
Right? And then nothing. It's just, oh, man.
So Charlie and I were talking about this earlier, and I haven't been tagged like that very, very often, and it's usually just barely even a scratch. But every time it has happened to me, it's a spread axle. Every time. I'm just saying.
I got to play that again. Hang on. Wait. This is just epic
Why?
to me. Because someone needs to find this guy and be like, bro, I saw your stuff on screen and you're not smart. Just because of the way he said, I didn't even know I hit anybody. Right? Just watch his reaction. He hits the brakes. He slows down. He's creeping. Crap. Oh, shit, I hit something. Brakes so hard, he rocks the truck back and forth. His own cab. Come on, man. That's nuts. People are liars. I'm just saying.
That's why you need a dash cam.
Right? If that's not an ad for why you need a dash cam, I don't know what is. Oh, geez.
Unbelievable, man.
You know what? We should get into this stuff, Jeff, before I squirrel out. Gosh, we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Mindset shift, sir. Mind set shift.
Mind set shift.
It's the combination of them that throws my mouth sideways. So, yeah, but you got to go from being just a driver to an actual business owner, right? Because, I mean, we've talked about this in the past. And, you know, what we find is a lot of guys, they make this jump, they make the leap, but they don't make the transition. Right? They think, well, I was doing great as a company guy. Look at all the money I made as a company guy. Man, I'll be able to slay it as a contractor. And they keep driving 70, 80 miles an hour. And they get that cool truck with all the bells and whistles and a horrible maintenance record.
Yep.
And crap fuel economy. And some lousy tires on it. and all these things, and they stop just when they need fuel, just wherever, right? Because they haven't made that mindset shift. See, I can't even say it when I'm on the ball. And I don't know. Jeff is really good at getting the getting the mindset shift going in people's heads. Him and Josh are really good at that. I mean, I could talk about it. Don't get me wrong, but Jeff and Josh really break things down in a more detailed kind of thing, and we go over stuff like this in the private community. We had a pretty good thing with Josh here. Was it last weekend on the 1st?
Yeah, on the 1st.
And that was cool because I mean that really kind of touched on some of the mindset stuff and just I mean so much more. But
Right.
so
So yeah, just today I was talking with another coach, not in our industry. We were just talking. He does something totally different, but he was asking me some really good questions about what it is that we do. And I mentioned to him that, I made really good money over at Swift when so many people don't. And really the difference was that I ran my business, wait for it, like a business. I got deep into my numbers. I built relationships with planners and even terminal leaders and people like that could help me stay moving when other people weren't. That's what we're talking about. When you're a company driver, all you really have to do, Charlie, is get freight from point A to B on time within the hours of service without hitting anything. That's it. That's your whole job, your whole purpose in life. What a lot of people don't realize is when you buy that truck or lease that truck or however you get your equipment, you're responsible for your entire business. You're responsible for the payments on the truck. Or if you're really good with the finances, maybe you stroked a check for a truck. Some guys do that. But then you got maintenance on that truck. You've got fuel expenses. Depending on your operation, you've got different insurances that you have to cover. If you're out there running your own numbers, you got customers, right? So just right there in the last 30 seconds, I named 5 things that a company driver doesn't have to worry about. What we see over and over again, this came up in the conversation, because he was fascinated by this, Charlie,
right.
that a lot of people, they go lease a truck and then they just keep on trucking like they have a job,
Right.
and then they wonder why they're not making more money,
Or why
this
they're
simple
making half
mind,
what they did.
right? And let's be real, Charlie, I warn people about this, especially with the lease purchase programs that are out there. Anticipate a pay cut initially when you first start your business as an owner operator. Why? Those 5 things that I just talked about. Your fuel being number 1. There's a learning curve there to learn how to drive the truck more efficiently. Because I used to tell my students, Charlie, when I was teaching, in my truck, you drive the way I tell you to because the fuel is on me.
Right.
Now, let's talk about once they graduate off my truck and they became a Swift driver.
Yep.
Hammer down, baby. You're getting paid to get there on time.
Exactly.
You're not worried about fuel. Swift doesn't get no fuel bonus. But when you're paying the bill, you got to shift that. You got to have that mind shift, right? You got to start thinking about, okay, if I drive 70 instead of 65, what's that going to do to my bottom line?
Right.
Now, it's a really simple calculation if you're on a mileage contract like our friends over at Swift,
Right.
because they don't pay for you to go faster. It's a little different
in different business models, though. Now, even a system like Landstar, Charlie, there's some wiggle room, some negotiation available there. And so you could say, well, that load's going to require me to go 70. That's going to cost me this much more fuel, and you can build that into your rate. That simple little mind shift. I have to pay for fuel. Let's watch that a little bit. We'll save you thousands of dollars a year in cost. And what you don't spend, you get to keep in the bank.
Right.
Remember, what we care about more than anything is not what you make, it's what you keep. That's another, I don't know in 2025 if I can actually say this anymore or not, but I'm going to say it anyway. If we get canceled, whatever. If you don't get that, you're going to stay a wage slave for the rest of your life.
Right.
The whole point of owning a business is to get out of that wage slave mentality, to get away from that, and to build your business so that you can maintain a certain level of freedom in your life. And that's a whole show in and of itself, Charlie. So I don't want to get into it too much. But the definition of freedom for a business owner is not what people think.
No,
we absolutely spend more time working than someone with a job. Absolutely. However, it's a choice.
However, dare I say it's a thing?
It's a thing. So you make the mind shift. And we our school community, the one that we actually charge for, is named Road Warrior Entrepreneurs. We chose that name because we want all of our members to really internalize, even if you're just that one truck guy at Swift or JB Hunt or whoever, you are a business owner. You're an entrepreneur. And once you make that shift, you'll start seeing opportunity that you didn't see before. Charlie went insane on this about 2 years ago when we first started getting into this, right?
Right.
You were seeing opportunities around every corner.
Like everywhere. They were just popping up. And they were there before.
Right. We started learning, and we started getting deeper into stuff that we talked about, but I mean, let's be real, we're human beings too, right? So yeah, we get it to a point, but then when you put it into action, things change. It's like in that movie, The Knight's Tale, change your stars.
Right.
You can change your stars. Absolutely. It doesn't matter who's in the Oval Office. It doesn't matter who's your governor or any of that political BS. As an entrepreneur, you have the power. You've said, I'm taking that power for myself. I'm making the choice. And there is a lot of serious, almost magic to that realization. When you realize that you can make choices and they impact your life, that's the mind shift that you need to have. Don't just be a driver. Most people that we talk to, Charlie, are nowhere near being entrepreneurs.
Right.
That's most people.
No, they're employees.
Right. But the people that make the shift and start seeing opportunities, these are the people that build small fleets. These are the people that I'm going to toot our horn, Charlie. These are the people that build insurance programs.
Right.
When they see a need. Okay. These are people that once they've done something, they love to talk about it. I'm reminded of that one guy that came on our group. It was the other owner operator group. He was asking about being, an owner operator. And my first question always is what, Charlie?
What's your why?
Yep, without fail. Why do you want to be a business owner? And this gentleman came back with, that ain't none of your business. I have my reasons.
Right. That
He's
was a
going to
fun
fail.
one.
He's going to fail. People that are into this stuff, that have made the mind shift, you can't shut us up about it. We get excited when we start talking about business. You need to become that person, and it requires that mindset shift. So then part of the shift is you have this business. Ask yourself this and be honest. Are you running it like a business?
Right. A lot of us
It-
don't.
And what's that really look like? Most of us, there's a few people right here in the chat, Charlie, that actually do have business style degrees, so they know exactly
Right.
what I'm talking about. But the average guy doesn't, right? So what does it look like to actually run a business? Charlie?
Oh, my bad. I thought you were on a roll, bro. I was just letting you go. You're on.
We need to go back and forth a little bit.
I know, but
because
you're
the
on fire,
audience is
bro.
only gonna-
No, I mean
the audience is only going to listen to one of us, so we both have to talk.
Yeah, you're right. All right. But no, yeah, I mean, you really got to look at things. A company driver. Let's be real. Gets in the truck and they drive the truck. That's it. End of story. That is it. They know they have to pre-trip, post-trip, get fuel where they're told. Right? Those of us who are trying to run a business are looking at, what's the weather looking like today? Where are we running? Where's our lane? Where are we going to be tomorrow, the next day? If we can see that far out. Where's the best fuel along our route? How fast do I need to run this load to stay within, my set miles per gallon that I would like to stay within, right? Can I stay within that and still keep a schedule? Where are the best fuel stops along the route? Where's my first best? Where's my second? Where's my third best? Sometimes things happen. You can't get to the first or the second even. What's your fallback? Where does that fall into your plan? If you get to your first best stop and there's a wreck and you can't get to it, what are you going to do then? Just hit the next fuel stop? Do you have enough to get to the one that you want that would be secondary? I mean, these are all things that we're thinking about on a regular basis. I run in a pretty dedicated area, right? The Northeast, Georgia, Alabama. In fact, Atlanta, Birmingham, Huntsville. Let's be real, right? I have a couple backup spots in the event something weird happens. I don't have a lot, but I have a few. And if I have to, okay, I'll hit just a whatever and grab 20 gallons of fuel because things went awry on me and it didn't quite work out the way I thought it was going to work out. Right. But make sure I got enough to get to where I do need to get to. How am I deciding loads on what loads I should be accepting? I mean, you shouldn't just be taking everything. I mean, I don't turn down, well, in my current operation, I don't turn down anything right now. Just because I pretty much know what they all are. It doesn't matter. I'm going to run it because I'm on a dedicated, type account. But when running OTR, okay, we got some things to factor in, is it a good revenue load? When I get to the other end, what's that market look like? How much deadhead do I have between me and picking this load up? And, does that jive with the numbers that I need to meet this week, this month, quarter, year? Excuse me. There's all these little variables that as a company driver or just a regular employee anywhere in any industry, you don't care about any of this stuff. But when it's all coming out of your pocket, you absolutely need to know what this is. Okay, great. That load's going to pay you 10 grand. What's going to cost you to run that load? What are you going to have left over? What's your net? Everybody talks about gross. I made 10 grand this week, bro. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, what's your net? And they're like, yeah, I put like 800 in the bank. Sounds like a terrible load to me.
So yeah, that sounds extreme, but it's real, dude. There are people we've talked to more than I would have thought, actually, that's a real thing. That amount of money, and they put like 1,000, 1,500 bucks in the bank off of that. It's crazy. Their overhead is crazy. So what you're talking about, Charlie, is having processes in place.
That's the magic word, synergist.
That's right. Which, by the way, is going to be the topic of our March Zoom call in school. Is we're going to talk about putting processes in place, even if you're that one truck guy. Doesn't
Right.
matter. Have processes.
Exactly.
You guys all know that one of my processes is every morning as part of my pre-trip, I shop fuel prices in the lane I'm running. Because, fuel prices change every day. I can't rely on my research 2 days ago.
Right. Hell, I check them throughout the day sometimes.
Yeah. Remember, it was crazy. Little squirrel here.
Oh.
When the last time prices skyrocketed, they were almost vertical. We were seeing prices change on the signs as we drove by 2-3 times a day.
That was hurting my brain.
That was crazy. And I think I figured it out. We tried to find out from Jeff Reese why the discount market dried up in certain places like Illinois during that time.
Right.
And I think, and I can't prove it, whatever, but I think what happened was things were so crazy the discount market just closed.
Yeah, they just gave up.
Kind of like the stock market does when there's a run. They just close it. I think the discount market just closed in certain areas that we're seeing crazy price increases. Because today I'm getting good
it's based
discounts
on the
still,
heating fuel
places like
oil
that.
or the heating oil market is what the discount
Mhm.
fuel market is based off of, and that market was going completely sideways.
Crazy. So yeah, have processes for everything. Have a process for your maintenance. If you're leasing a truck from a leasing company, chances are in your equipment contract there is a maintenance schedule in there that you're expected to keep up on.
Excuse me.
So it's somewhat easy for someone in that position. Yes, that's your process, is this piece of paper. If you have your own truck, whether it's clear and free or you bought it with the bank's money, you need to figure out, get in your driver's manual and figure out what is your maintenance schedule. Have that process in place that at 50,000 miles I do this, at 100,000 miles I'll do this, and so on and so forth, right? That is a process. I don't know what happened to Charlie. He just like bailed out. That's weird. So Tim, the discount market, is it Tim? Who said that? Somebody said discount. Yeah, Tim Ransom. Discount market still sucks in Illinois. Maybe. So with my contract, I don't pay IFTA, which is kind of cool.
Right. Bye, Jim.
But if you run your numbers the way we teach and take IFTA out, I wonder what that looks like across that I-80 lane. Because it's kind of like Oregon, California. Sometimes it's cheaper to fuel in Illinois, and sometimes it's not. And that could change on a whim, on a daily basis there. So again, if you're following your process and you're shopping fuel every day, and you're hitting those places that are the least expensive, less IFTA, that's what matters. Jim Wall's going to sleep. You put him to sleep, Charlie. He put that up as soon as you left. So he's one of your guys. He's not one of my guys. He doesn't want to listen to me.
He used to not like me at all.
Yeah, I know.
He would just ignore everything, whatever. I like that guy. He's fun to talk to. I sat down. Where were we? I think we were at the Huddle House in Lake City. It's funny. Anyhow, yeah, I had to go blow my nose. Like my nose went crazy all of a sudden. Sorry. I was listening. What's the charge at Swift if you do zero maintenance? That's an easy one. That's called a truck, the cost of a truck.
Yep.
That's the same cost everywhere, if you ask me.
Yeah, if you're in any of these lease purchase deals, if you're negligent on the maintenance and they can show that you were negligent, guess what? You owe them for a truck.
right.
And I don't know why that would even come up, but okay, there's people that don't do their maintenance. Obviously.
We see them all the time. And
Yeah.
you know what? It's those guys that are like came in and they're still company driving their lease truck and they're not making any money. So the first thing that they start cutting on is maintenance. Oh, I can't afford to replace tires. I can't afford an oil change. And next
Can't
thing you
afford
know,
not
with
to.
no bypass system, they've got 200,000 miles on a truck with the same oil and the engine seizes or some other catastrophic, horrible thing. You know?
Yeah. It's that's another issue. You know, if you have a process in place to save for maintenance, that is what we're talking about. Processes.
Right.
It costs, you know, if you talk to Bruce Mallison, which we haven't talked to him in a while, but we've talked to him over the years. What he will tell you is that from the time you pick up the truck at the dealership, if you save 10 cents a mile in a maintenance account and don't touch it for anything other than maintenance, you always have money to maintain that truck.
Right.
So like for the first couple of years, you're talking about just doing oil changes basically and inspections, maybe some tires. But over the term of the truck, especially those guys that do the financing and pay a truck off, so they're going to have their truck for 8 or 10 years. That 10 cents a mile through the entire life of the truck should be enough to maintain that truck.
Ida, you're right. I didn't even think about that part of it. Yeah, if you haven't shown that you've done maintenance on a truck at Swift, they absolutely will put you on safety hold after, like, I think it's like 55,000, 53,000 miles, something like that. The IEL contract, the leasing company there, requires maintenance to be done every so often. I can't remember when I had Chewy, a paid for truck. I don't think they ever hit me on maintenance interval times. The only one that I had to do was my DOT.
Right. On the 16, I didn't get any.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was
anything
right.
from them other than on the DOT, which I would just take that to Speedco, have them do their thing for a half hour and
right.
done instead of taking it to Swift where it takes 2 days to do stuff sometimes.
Well, I went into Swift one time and they're like, we're not going to DOT inspect your truck. I'm like, why not? He's like, it's not going to pass and we're just going to send it to Freightliner. What the hell you mean it's not going to pass? He's like, your truck's sold. There's no way it'll pass. Excuse me? And if we find anything wrong with it, we're just going to send it to Freightliner because we don't want to touch it. It was like a serious thing. Like I got into a great big old pissing contest with them over that. Ended up taking it to the TA to get done. And guess what? It passed.
Yeah, you know, that's all they care about is that you got a sticker and you can send them the paperwork.
It's just such a hassle.
This
know what I
truck
mean?
is actually,
I was
this
there
truck
and I
is
had to drive an
actually,
extra 40 miles.
this truck is actually due for one in March. So next month. And so another part of my process is I try to do my maintenance while I'm at home.
Right.
That way, if there's something extensively wrong with the truck, I could just go home instead of getting a hotel.
Yeah.
Because you don't always catch stuff that needs to be fixed, that they'll catch during an inspection, right?
Right.
And if that's the case, you need a hotel. That's just more money out of your pocket. Because you know, at the dealership, they're not going to let you stay on the lot in most cases. So.
Right. So I've been doing, because I have an IEL lease truck, I've just been doing my services at the Swift shops, Ocala mainly. I've done one in Phoenix, but most of them have been done in Ocala. So I schedule my appointment for a Tuesday or a Wednesday because I come home Monday night typically, right? Mm-hmm. And I schedule my appointment for Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning, whatever works, whatever I can get in. And I know I'm going to be home till at least Thursday anyhow, right? So I try to get the appointment on Tuesday because I know it's going to take Tuesday and Wednesday. It's just it really is a thing for some reason. You know, I'm set up for the first appointment Tuesday morning, and Tuesday night nobody calls. Wednesday morning they're like, "Hey, we're almost done." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." Yeah. So, but then when they do find something wonky with it, I'm typically done by Thursday, which is fine. Much to Ida's despair, or maybe not, I don't know. When I don't have the truck in hand, I'll extend my PTA out a day. Right. So I was supposed to come back to work Thursday. I know that they're probably going to be done with it Thursday morning, and I could probably run a load Thursday night. I don't want to commit to a load for Thursday evening. And then, Thursday afternoon, they're like, "Oh, we didn't get it done," and then have to bail on the load. So I just push my PTA out an extra 24 hours. That way, if I do pick it up Thursday afternoon, great. If not, and I'm held over, I'll call and say, "Hey, Ida, sorry. Once again, I'm kind of behind the ball. We're going to push that another day." And she's like, "Okay, cool. Thanks for not, hosing me on that load." And I'm like, "Yep." Sorry, I was reading chat. But it's all these things. It's the planning, the processes, like just talking about. When I know I have a service coming up, through my carrier, I have to go through much to Ida's despair. I use the Ocala shop. I know. And she has to use the same one for all of her trucks. It's a thing. I hope they don't see that, Ida. They're gonna mess with you. But yeah, I mean, these are all, those individual processes. There's many processes we need to follow. Each of us need to work that out for how we do things specifically, how best works for each of us, right? And your process might be slightly different than mine, or it could be, drastically different. As long as you're getting the things done that need to be done, knock it out of the park, brother. I'm with you, I don't care how you do it, as long as it's efficient, it's helping with your bottom line somehow, and you're getting it done. And you're not coming up with these shortcomings like, "Oh, I didn't plan for this or this or this," and now you're having to jump out of your butt because you're having to react versus act, right? If you're acting, you're, taking an active role in this stuff, you can knock it out and handle it where you need to handle it. If you're reacting, you're behind the 8 ball, and you're having to do all this stuff on the fly, maybe not a great shop rate, maybe at a shop you just absolutely hate or have no experience with at all. Maybe you get lucky, but chances are probably not, right? I mean, so there's a whole bunch of different things, but and with that, having those processes in place, right? And you're treating your trucking operation like a business, not like a job, right? These things are going to help increase your profit, of course, right? But then on top of that, let's dip into the networking. A lot of us are very solitary SOBs. We're kind of grumpy.
No.
We know everything. Our way is
Yes,
the
I
perfect
do.
way. Just ask me. I'll tell you. I know everything. Not really. But you sitting at the lunch counter, and every time you'll find someone that knows this is the way it goes. Really, when did you try that last? "Oh, I've never done that." Oh, okay. Don't lease a truck. That's the worst thing you could ever do. Really, what was your last lease like? "Oh, I've never done it."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks for the help, buddy. But networking with the right type of people, right? Finding people, like-minded people, right? Finding people
And
that
so
the same journey kind of.
I'm not talking about having an echo chamber. I'm not talking about finding a group
Right.
that yeah, Charlie, I agree with you every time. Little lapdogs. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that have the same mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset, the mindset that they're business owners, that they're playing the game to win. And you can learn a lot just from being part of a community like that. Again, you know, there's power in this stuff, Charlie. There's power in being part of a group where you're all trying to. Okay, Narc. Gosh.
So,
you know,
Mike,
don't expect your group members, your tribe, as other people like to call them, to always agree with you.
right,
Part of being in a community is we have these social cues, right? From the communities in your neighborhood. You don't is well, maybe not in yours, Charlie. You live in Florida, but you let your yard get out of hand. One of your
right.
neighbors might say
Thanks,
something
Narc.
to you. It's not that your neighbor hates you or anything. It's not that he wants you to move. It's just, hey man, notice that your lawn's a little out of shape there. You know, the nice thing about a true community is the next thing that comes out of their mouth will be, you need some help with that?
Right?
Let's get some guys over here and help you. Oh, you just had a baby. That's right. I forgot. How's that going, by the way?
Yeah.
Gosh, let's get your yard taken care of for you. That's the community we want to be a part of.
Right.
Now, one of the things when Charlie and I first started this, if you don't know, so there's other people that also hand out advice or whatever. And I'm going to bring up the lease purchase thing. One of the things that drove us nuts is the hatred of the lease purchase program.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to tell you that leasing a truck is the best way to get a truck, because it's not. It costs you more.
Right.
Especially right now with the used truck market going down the way it is, it's probably
Right.
a pretty good time to buy a used truck. I'm just saying. But here's the thing. So many people enter into these lease purchase programs every single day. Why not just help them out? You know, no, why throw them out in the cold?
Right.
And that's part of what we try to do is, you know, we don't care how you got your truck. We keep saying that, Charlie, and it's true. There's any number of ways to get equipment. That doesn't make you any less of a business owner. You know, I'll
Right.
point out IBM for 20, 30 years, their entire business was what? Leasing computer office equipment out to Fortune 500 companies.
Right.
Are you telling me that those Fortune 500 companies aren't business people just because they lease their equipment? They don't own that corner office on Park Avenue. They lease that corner office on Park Avenue. Does that make them not a viable company?
Right.
That's part of the mind shift change too. However you got your equipment, you're in business. Internalize that. Learn to play the game.
Right.
You know, my whole why I got into this thing was I love playing the game. There's times, Charlie, you've seen it since you've known me. I've had some really terrible years driving truck. What keeps me going is I love playing the game, bro. I just
Right.
love playing the game. I like being in the rears, right? And saying, okay, how do I get out of this? What's the solution? And coming up with that solution.
Right.
That's part of the game. That's being an entrepreneur. You see a problem, you come up with a solution, you sell the solution.
So, you know, when Jeff and I first started working together, you know, working on Contractors Corner and this stuff, one
After
of the
we
things,
stopped yelling at each other on Facebook.
right. But here's the thing. It was funny because we were getting to the same place in our arguments. We were going
Mhm.
about it different ways. And that's what, you know, kind of got me to focus in on Jeff. And I think the same with him towards me. That sounds weird, but whatever. No judgment. Was that we were getting like kind results on a different path to get there, right? And you know, when I approached him on some of the stuff, I'm like, hey man, you know, we have different ways of doing things. We don't always agree. We like to butt heads, and we'll get to points where we're like, no, you're dumb, bro, but that's not wrong. You know, you got there. Not really sure how you did. Let's break it down. I didn't want someone who's just going to be like, yeah, let's do that because you said it, you know, and he damn sure didn't want anything like that. He didn't want to have to be that guy. And I damn sure don't want that guy around me. I don't want the person that just goes along because it's easy. I want the person who's going to challenge me. And that's what I want in my life, my business life, my personal life. I like when people challenge me and we can have a spirited debate, as they say, right? Or just talk things out and say, hey, man, this is what I think about this thing. What are your thoughts? And well, I think you're kind of sideways on it, bro. And this is why. And we're like, oh, well, I can see where you're coming from, but let me explain this a little bit better, right? And there's the back and forth, right? Discourse. It's good. We don't get mad at each other. We get heated. If people hurt us verbally, they might think we're yelling at each other, but we're passionate. I love that kind of stuff, you know. People will see Jeff and I argue on the socials and stuff like that. They're like, wow, you guys are going crazy on that, dude. And we're like, no, we're just making sure that the right information is out there.
Right.
You know, as to the best of our ability. And when we're wrong, look, we'll be like, dang, we were wrong. This is why. This is what we thought. This is what really happened. And we learned something. Whoop, whoop. And that's a good day.
Yep.
You know, I can't ask for a better day than to learn something, especially if it changed something that I've been set in for so long, right?
Yeah, and that's a tough one.
Yeah. You know, and you're like, why? Fuel cards. I mean, how long did we fight that? And then when we started running real numbers, we're like, oh my God, we're idiots, bro. God, we're stupid, you know? And then we actively went full blown that direction.
And what you'll notice about the way I in particular interact on social, you'll never see me delete a comment, even if I've been proven wrong. And you know, that's another thing about community is that you need to be able to do that. Because here's the thing is that when we engage, there needs to be context.
Right.
So I've gotten in debates with people. Usually it's on the political stuff, which I don't do as much anymore because I was wimpy. I really did lose sleep over that because I would get my blood pressure up. So I just stopped doing it. But, you know, I'd be engaging with this person with an opposing point of view. And, you know, I approach these things knowing I'm not going to change your mind, Charlie, on stuff like that.
Right.
It's just not going to happen.
Right.
And you're not going to change my mind if we disagree on something like that.
Right.
But the discourse will help other people see both sides of the issue. And so it drives me nuts when I go back to look at one of those debates and my opponent has deleted some of their comments.
Right.
So now I just sound like a raving lunatic because there's no context. You need the other guy to say what he's going to say so that you can have a discourse. You know, again, you know, if you watch political debates like the presidential debates, it's not about the opponents changing each other's point of view. It's about getting their point of view across so that you can see both sides. And I think that's the real power of social media. I wish it really worked that way. But yeah.
That's when you've been having fun with Jeff, like Tim's buddy Jason.
I stopped engaging. Charlie and I were actually talking about this because here's what in my mind happens. I get bored with these things because I've got other stuff to do, right? You know, we're Charlie and I are building several businesses right now. It's a lot of work, a lot of time. And so I'll engage with someone that I think is entertaining for a while, and then I just forget about them. And I guarantee you, Charlie, what happens is that guy thinks he won.
Right. Oh yeah.
And my attitude is, I don't think there is a winner. It's just both of our points of view got out there.
Right. You know,
and so people can make up their own dang mind, you know?
going back to the lease thing, even Narc's talking about, I lease my wrenches. That's why I don't throw them when I get mad at Freightliners.
Oh yeah.
I mean, dude owns tools, but there's that stuff that you are leasing. You're renting.
So I've got a
buying over
question for
time.
Narc. I'm going to say a word, Narc, and I want your reaction to it. You ready?
If he's still here.
International.
Oh.
Yeah. If you're still here, I just want you to react to that word.
Right.
Real quick.
Brian, he said it's weird. I have those conversations with myself. Me too, Brian.
Sometimes I
argue
lose.
with myself a lot. I have some knockdown, drag out arguments with myself, and it's me, because there's a lot of times when I will post something out on the socials, right? I need to know that I'm right, because when I am wrong, in some people's eyes, they'll try and take that and spin it into everything I've ever said is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Don't listen to anything because this tiny snippet was worded incorrectly, right? So I have these arguments with myself. I have them with Jeff. I'm like, bro, argue the other side of this. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, sometimes it's like you planted evidence in a Ford SUV,
Right?
and then everything else you've ever done is put into question. And yep, just saying.
So Wimpy said there's something to be said to have zero stress in your life. I actually don't operate well in a zero stress life. I've recently found what my limit was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, legitimately, I found my cap, and I'm working through that stuff, right? But I typically thrive in a high stress environment. I mean, there is too much. I didn't know that until the end of last year, beginning of this year. I had never really found my highest level of positivity, as one of my drill sergeants used to say. I've reached my highest level of positivity. I'm like, oh no, that's a lot of push-ups about to happen. But yeah, but I thrive in a stress environment.
I didn't know Damon Wayans was your drill sergeant.
Dude, he was built the opposite, but very much the same. It was great.
Mindset.
Yes. I see what you did there, sir. Well played. Bring me off the squirrel. But yeah, so but that's gonna kind of bring us back to and yes, we're going to do that shameless plug for our community. One of the things that, some of the things that we're working on there is getting people into this mindset and trying to get deeper into the process of creating and refocusing a mindset or directing it in the right direction, building these processes, helping you build a network of like-minded individuals, right? And finding ways to share ideas and get information that, oh, well, this works great and this works terrible. Don't do this, right? Because there's so many things that many of us have done. And I mean, we're talking hundreds of years of experience amongst, members, right? And we've all done things in crazy different ways. And we've all tried some really wacky things. And a lot of us have come to the understanding that you probably shouldn't do these things. You should absolutely do these things.
Right.
And we're always trying to learn from each other. I have groups in PMs in the private messenger stuff, right? Where we talk about different things, Jeff, Matt, and Craig and I are we have a ongoing thread where we talk things back and forth sometimes, Jeff and I will reach out to individuals. I talk to Ida about a lot of stuff. She's running a large fleet of trucks. She used to be a contractor. She was a company driver, a contractor. She's managed drivers. Now she's managing a fleet and an account. I mean, why not tap into that kind of information? our relationship with Josh, our coach, who's now a partner with us. I mean, why wouldn't you seek things like that out?
Yep. And the interesting thing is too, Josh, I say he was on the other side of trucking. He was a broker for a while. So he does understand the business to an extent. But his expertise, right, is not trucking. His expertise is in the mindset and how do you build your processes and things like that translate into what we do, but most people ignore. So bringing him in, that added another value point to what we do. And like I said, I even said it right there in front of him during the best year ever event. It's not that what he's saying is any different than what Charlie and I beat the pulpit on.
Mm-hmm.
But he has the experience as a presenter to put it in a different way,
right,
and line it out step by step by step. That's where that's his bailiwick. So as you look for a community to join, look for that multi-level. Okay, this guy does this guy does that, and here's my whole group of people with the hundreds of years of experience between them. Between Charlie and I, we have 40 years experience between the two of us, and we're just the two guys that are hosting the whole thing. We actually have people in there that have been trucking longer than us, have experienced. We complain about, so in our career, Charlie, what the big one was ELDs,
right,
and the new hours of service regulations.
Right.
And we have people in the community that are like, yeah, this has happened to me 5 times in my career.
Yep.
And they'll tell you that they'll help you calm down a little bit. That they can tell you what their experience was last time. With this economic thing that we're dealing with right now. Charlie, you and I have been through 2 of these already.
Right.
And so as people get frustrated, talk to us. We know it's hard right now. I'm telling you, if you can stick it out to the other end, there is a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow.
With that being said, if you guys got any questions or comments about this topic or any topic that, trucking business related, hell, I'm not going to give you relationship advice. Oh, wait. Yes, I will. She's right. You're wrong. Yes, dear, I love you. And so right after this, we're going to take whatever you guys want to go down, whatever road you want to travel. Check it out. You're either running your business like an owner or like an employee. And if you're stuck in that employee mindset, you're leaving money on the table. Company drivers wait for direction. Business owners create opportunities. Company drivers chase miles and just drive. Business owners chase profits and know their numbers. Want to run a real business? Start tracking your numbers. Know your cost per mile and start saying no to bad loads. Drop "I run a business" in the comments if you're done thinking like an employee. If you want to take this mindset shift further, join the Road Warrior Entrepreneurs community at www.rwedrive.com, where we have profit boosting strategies, coaching calls, and real road warriors winning together. Naked skydiving, Lisa brought up, and I'm here to tell you that old men should not skydive naked, nor old women. There are reasons for this, and I'm sure you can draw the mental pictures as to why.
I saw a video of a black lab that was skydiving the other day.
Right.
In his own harness. But the owner was just GoProing the video.
It's crazy. That was fun. Naked skydiving. Never mind. I just can't go down that route.
Lawn darts.
In trouble. Yeah, Chris. When CDL first came out, it was a huge thing. That is how old he is. Probably had a chauffeur's license back in the day. I know a lot of guys that had those. That was not my era. That was a while before me. God, those guys were salty when that came out too. I mean, a lot of them got kind of grandfathered in, and really just, I mean, from my understanding, if you had a chauffeur's license and it was time to renew or whatever, they would just transfer it into a Class A CDL and you were good, right? Some guys are like, "This is stupid," and left the industry. Okay, but you know that's back in deregulation and all that other nonsense.
People did that when the ELD came out. Okay,
right?
I'm still here. You know. Let's throw up. We have one saved comment here. I thought was a really good question. Michael Fowler. Why is there a difference in schedule intervals for our company and owner operator? Company can go 70K, but we are 50 because they haven't changed the contract.
Right.
That's why.
It may change in the contract.
I can tell you though, because we talked to some engineers over at Freightliner here about a year ago, that for our operation, they recommend the 50,000 mile interval.
Right. They found that it was definitely working better in our operation at that 50K number, strictly because of, you know, the start stop, long RPMs and all that. Whereas 70K was, I can't remember which operation was which, right? You know, they had like, you know, city people should do certain intervals. And I didn't focus on any of that because I was worried about my OTR type stuff, right? And that's where I keyed in and focused on, and I should have broadened it a little bit, but I didn't. Anyhow, and so you got like, you know, regional, and you got, you know, off-road and all these other things. So I mean, their maintenance intervals, you know, range from like 25,000 to like 75,000, depending on the operation that you're running. And those engineers told us 50K for what you guys are doing is what we found to be best for you.
Yeah, because we were sitting through this presentation that they were doing, and Charlie and I both looked at each other and said, "We've got questions." So we went up and talked to them. They were amazed at our fuel mileage numbers too.
Oh, there you go. Chris said when he had to go over from chauffeurs to CDL, he had to take the written but not the road test.
Okay.
That's fair. I had to do that when I transferred from Florida to Oregon with my CDL. I had a Class A CDL in Florida, went to Oregon. They made me take the written test, the general knowledge test. When I went from Oregon back to Florida, I did not have to do that. I don't know if it's because I had a Florida CDL before or if it's just their thing.
Yeah, when I moved to Utah, I had to do the written but not the driving.
So, Ida. Lord, my uncle still talks about how mad he was about the creation of the CDL.
Yep.
I like some of the older guys.
Dude, I don't eat in the restaurants all that often anymore because diabetes.
Right.
But I would say probably about half the time there will be some older guy there that strikes that conversation up. And talks about running 3 logbooks in the 80s.
I can do it. I did it when I started. I didn't like it. I didn't like the multiple logbook thing, man. I didn't. Trying to keep track of the lies, you know what I mean? And then, you know, those of you who know me. It was not okay, man. But you know, that's you know, even before me, it was cheaper not to have a logbook at all in your truck rather than get busted for a log violation. So, you know, back in the day, you used to see it. You drive past a weigh station and there's a stack of logbooks out on the side of the road.
Yep.
Blowing in the wind, logbook after logbook after logbook. Because, you know, back in the day, it was like a $50 fine because you didn't have a logbook. And they're like, here, start a new one right here and fill it out best you can. And you're like, okay. And they'd send you on your way. Pay $50. I don't want to keep up with the story. No, Lord help you now.
Yeah.
I just said, Jeff, you clearly have spoken to my uncle.
Yeah, so that's something too. You know, I was talking to you about this the other day, Charlie. I can't remember what the issue was, but it was something political. But I've noticed people argue the wrong thing.
Right.
And the ELD mandate is the perfect one. People are upset because there's an ELD. And I'm telling you, your problem isn't with the ELD. All it is a method of tracking your hours. That's it.
Right.
Your problem is with the hours of service.
Exactly.
So
The hours
people
of service
argue
are
against
the problem.
ELDs when the real problem is the hours of service, and you don't hear people complaining about that. It's bizarre to me.
Michael said, "Thanks for the answer, Jeff."
Yep.
We do try. But yeah, I mean, there's all these things that we could, die on a hill over, right? And that's the thing that, like Jeff was saying, is people get up, they get on these hills, and they're arguing the wrong part of it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's okay. So you got an ELD, it tracks your hours. You had to track your hours before if you were working within the limits of the law. Let's be real.
Yep.
Right. And those hours of the tracking rather was to ensure safety. The hours of service is where they kind of went sideways on because they made it impossible to get good rest for some people.
Yep.
Right. I mean, there are days back in the day where I could literally, and I'm absolutely telling you, safely operate a vehicle for 24 hours. There are other days where 3 hours in, I need to sleep for 8.
Yeah.
You used to be able to stop your log, get a good nap, and drive on. Of course, nowadays you're screwed. I mean, you got that split sleeper stuff that confuses the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
Right? It's barely simple, but confusing all the same. It's weird. My favorite hours of service, you could run 5 and 5 in a team. It was great. So I'd drive for 5 hours. I'd go sleeper for 5 hours. I'd drive for 5 hours. I'd be in sleeper, but watching a movie for 5 hours. And we would just run like that nonstop and just keep going and going and going. And I mean, especially back then, 5 hours of sleep, that was gold.
Yeah.
And, I could talk on the phone or whatever, I was going to say, I didn't have that back then. Let's be real, but I could talk on the phone and watch a movie on a DVD, on my little DVD player. Right. Things like that. And it was great. And why they did away with that, I don't know, but it's probably because someone was abusing something horribly, because that's what we do. We find ways to abuse what we have, and then they take it away. See, she was just getting ready to say that. Ida, that's because you're a smart lady.
Great minds and all that.
I'm psychic. I don't know, something like that.
Psych.
Right. The 5 and 5 was beautiful. It was, oh my God. I talked to people about it today, and they're like, what the hell are you talking about, 5 and 5? And I'm like, oh man, did you miss a great time in trucking?
Yeah.
Because in a team operation, it was the absolute best. Brian said, I live most days on split sleeper when I'm on the road. I think I live on split sleeper when I'm at home too. You
get used to it.
Not everybody needs 10 hours of sleep. I'm sorry. Military guys, and I mean, back in my day when I was still, young and spry, I don't believe that ever was true, but whatever. We learned to, I mean, if you got 10 minutes down, you would knock out. I mean, they're like, you got 10 minutes, you would sleep, and you would sleep hard for 10 minutes. And they'd be like, all right, let's go. You're good for hours.
I remember nodding off for nice little nappies on top, in the back of a 5-ton on top of ammo crates. going from the motor pool out to the field. Right. Because you knew once you got to the field, it was game over. You didn't know when you were going to get sleep again.
For real. I got a funny one for you. Just talking about this very thing. Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. You'll love this. So, I believe this was in Haiti. Could have been. No, looking at my face, this was Panama. I don't know. It was either Haiti or Panama, But this was a great example of Army ability to sleep, and bam, we were on a QRF force, right? I remember this day really good. We were on a QRF force. We're like, all right, we just got back. Stand down, wait for the next call. It's exactly what we did. That's me and my buddy Kevin. Knocked the hell out.
Man, I can't even tell which one is you with that hair.
Right? Look at the eyebrow though, bro. I'm on the left.
Yeah.
My eyebrow has thinned out quite a bit over the years, thankfully. There was a point in time where you couldn't find the two. It was crazy. I don't even know what happened. Like, yeah, it was nuts, man. Excuse me. Yep, that's me. God, when was that? Oh, look. In Panama, QRF, Fort Amador. There you go. So that was in Panama. I didn't even read the caption on top. My bad.
So was that operation just because?
No, that was we used to go down for a 4-month rotation and do police work down there. It was fun. So that was yeah, gosh. That had to be 92, 93. It was right. We went down in like November, December, January, February. So I'm not sure exactly when this was. God, I got tickle. Anyhow, this is before I got broken. Came back in July of 93 and destroyed myself. Anyhow, I thought that's a cute picture. Just saying. Oh, good Lord. Army pictures are funny to look back on, I think. I'm like, was I really ever that young? It's kind of scary. There's another one. Where's that other one? Kind of a goofy picture. Where'd it go? I just saw it a minute ago. Looking all sexy. In PT gear.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Wait, there it is.
That was probably before PT belts, right?
Oh, yeah. We had safety vests. Yeah, this is absolutely in Panama. There you go. That's my buddy Kevin again on the left side. I'm the one right next to him with the crazy vulture neck. Just saying, trying to lean over into the center and then that's what's that dude's name? Hagen was right next to me. Tim Thomas. I can't remember his name. The last guy. It doesn't say. Dang it. I don't know. Whatever. That's good stuff right there. You're welcome. Nobody wants to see this nonsense. I can't help it.
Breaking news.
Squirrels, go ahead.
House just passed a bill to extend the BOI deadline.
Oh, well, there you go.
The one sentence bill simply postpones the beneficial ownership information reporting deadline for most companies to January 1st of 2026. So if you have an LLC, that applies to you, by the way. So that's the latest on that. That just came across.
Jeff, you'll love this one.
Are we still going down memory lane here?
Oh
my goodness,
bro. The obligatory basic training photo.
How happy you used to look so normal.
You shut up. What a baby. 20 years old. Gosh. Oh my God, that's crazy.
I remember those BDUs, man.
Look at the ear protection hanging off my collar. Remember them? Yep. Did you have those?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good Lord. Michael, I was in the 118th MP Company Airborne. And we rotated down there we had a unit down there pretty much all the time on 4-month rotations until we didn't. It was fun. I loved that place. I had a good time down there. A lot of trouble. I couldn't go back, I was told, after that trip because there was too great a chance that I would go to jail. Might have left the country with a traffic ticket floating out there. Myself and like 3 others, whatever. We just said, screw it, we're not going to court. It happened. Back then, they didn't have electronic records, so we felt we were safe. But if they ever stumbled across it, boy, I was screwed. Apparently, if you miss a court date down there, they told us was it's 1 day in jail for every day you missed court.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they said. Anyhow, that's funny. You're welcome for all that. Have fun with those. Whoo! Dude, Chris, right? The Wandy Wand lights and the safety vest. Run out there and stop traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I hated that stuff. Oh, you were at Clayton. Mike Fowler was at Clayton. Sweet. Yeah, we would bounce between multiple posts. Like I said, that other picture was it Amador, I believe. No, I can't even remember where it was now. But anyhow, yeah, we bounced between Amador. I used to hang out at the yacht club. I liked working the gated Amador because I would get to run down to the yacht club at the end of post, and the yacht club was like a club, like an NCO club, but not really NCOs, and night dancing and stuff like that. And there was a dude that you would cook meat on, what do you call them, skewers over sterno. Best eating ever. Oh my gosh. One night it's iguana, the next, you don't know. I finally started asking them, well, what's on tonight? They all tasted the same.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you cook over sterno tastes like sterno, and I, for some reason, love it. Just saying, it's good stuff. But it's whatever you could catch in the neighborhood that day. That's what he was cooking at night, and people did not want to know that at all. I did. I didn't care. I thought it was great. Monkey sticks, exactly, sir. Just saying, there was quite a few of those. I had fun down there. That was a good time. And then I came back and bought a motorcycle like a moron. Didn't go well. Whew. Good Lord. There has to be more to life than this. Robbed of your youth and old age. What a life. Wimpy, you're such a ray of sunshine. Man, you really know how to lift a brother up.
Everybody needs a hobby, man.
For real. Oh, geez. But if you guys got anything, yeah, exactly. The sterno bum, Charlie, the sterno bum. Man, that stuff was great for cooking over. I'm just saying, you cook any meat over that and it will taste great. Where have we gone, Jeff?
I don't know, man. I lost.
In the last, we were
I
so
lost the
focused on
plot.
the first hour, and then the last
Well,
20 minutes.
Well, that was the plan, right? Hyper focus the first hour, and then let Charlie do Charlie the last hour.
Oh Lord, and it's the train wreck that never ends. It just keeps on going. How long does it actually take to go through the loaner process?
It depends on if there's one available.
Right? They should have some down there in Greer, though. I know that's where you had. Did you end up driving the truck down there, Matt, or did you get? Excuse me, now I got the hiccups. Did you drive it down there or get towed? I can get rid of this picture. It's weird having my young self staring at me. I feel like I'm judging myself right now.
Mm.
Good Lord. I found another funny picture. I'm not sharing that one.
Okay.
That's
Better not.
terrible.
You know when Charlie says better not share it, then it's, yeah, don't share it.
That's a terrible picture. Oh, here's a good one. Still not sharing it, but that's a good one. Thug life. I'm in a jean and fleece jacket. Wearing a West LA hat. It's thug life, bro. And it's Rosie. I should show this just so you can see Rosie's little baby face. Oh my God. You should see this. She's probably going to kill me for this one. I'm going to do it anyhow. Why not? People can talk trash about me. I don't care.
Matt strapped the bumper and rode like the wind.
Nice. Look at that.
See, at least Rosie looks like Rosie, though.
You shut up, man. Look at that girl. You know what? It's funny because I still see her like that too. That's the best part about it. That bright, shiny face. I love that woman. Dang it. I miss her, Jeff. Oh, where's my emotional support?
What's it been? What's it been, like 28 hours?
Not even that, honestly. I left there almost 24. I left there at 7:30 last night. Isn't that when I texted you? That's funny. I'm a train wreck. What do you want from me? She is absolutely my Whoopi, and I can't help it. Chris, you're right.
Poor girl.
Girl. Matt said they got a Volvo loaner, which I called Rapid for the loaner contract, but haven't received it. Yeah, it's gonna be tomorrow. I mean, it's 4:30. No, 5:30 their time now.
There's a good time to mention if you are at a carrier like Swift, where you have the chance to get a loaner when your truck is in the shop, and you have outside insurance, not the insurance that the carrier offered you. Make sure you call your insurance people and get that truck insured before you leave the lot.
Right? Because they won't check.
Yeah,
that's what we're learning.
We've seen some issues. We have our opinion, but hey, stuff happens. So, again, the mindset shift, right? Being a business owner means being in charge of your stuff.
Right.
So make sure you're checking all the boxes when you make a change like that. If you're picking up a loaner, make sure that it's insured before you leave.
Tim, I like this question. Charlie, what would your younger self, what do you think your younger self would say to you today and vice versa? I think my younger self meeting me today would be like, how the hell did we live that long? Right? And the me of today, I'm developing this as we speak, right? I want to say that I would tell myself to slow down and enjoy the ones and treat the ones who truly matter to you the best that you possibly can. Because I was
and don't buy a motorcycle.
And don't buy a motorcycle. That's fair. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That treat the family better. That's real. Thank you for that one. I like that, Tim. Thanks, man. What do we got? Matt, try and get a Western Star. That's funny. I would take a Pete loaner, he'd say.
Yeah, get one of the 4.
Yeah, don't buy the bike. And buy more guns. How about invest in Apple? And buy that Bitcoin off of eBay for $50.
Yep.
Dang it. Steal the $1,000 you needed for the Yahoo IPO that you could have got in on. That was like millions on $1,000 return for that one.
So Big Dog says that Swift Insurance was $150 cheaper than Seabright. I would check the valuation.
I would. I don't believe it. Not calling
because the value, the rate at Seabright is 2% lower than the rate that Swift is offering right now. We know this.
Yeah.
So check the valuation. Check to make sure the valuation of the truck was proper. So, yeah.
Put a disclaimer on what, Donna? Silence.
Yeah, at the same point, though. So, my dad had a bad motorcycle accident when he was about 18 as well. And he credits that with basically saving his life, as terrible as it was.
So
You know, playing that game is interesting. What would you tell your younger self? But you wouldn't be the person you are today without all those challenges.
oh, the theft. No, I would have stole it. I just saying. I'd stole it somewhere if I had to. Could have paid it back, borrowed it. Whatever. I get what you're saying. Don't yell at me. I don't have my emotional support wife. You're going to be my Jiminy Cricket, aren't you? You're right. Seabright would not change it.
Yeah, I would have to see what you're looking at, because again, it just doesn't make sense to us. Because we helped build that program, and part of it is that it's literally 2% less than what Swift is charging on the
Hey,
rate. And what the rate means, by the way, is the percentage of overall truck value, which is where they get the premium from.
right. Big Dog Trucker. When was that? And can you tell me your real name? If you don't want to, that's cool. If you know how to get a hold of me elsewhere, I'm just curious because I'd like to actually check into that and see what went wrong there or what happened, because that's not normally the case. We are typically, if we're talking about just the FizzDam, Bobtail, and Ockack, it usually comes in a total of around 300 less than what Swift charges.
Yep.
When you add in all the other coverages, it's usually between 150 and 200-ish less than what Swift charges for just the FizzDam, Ockack, and Bobtail.
Yep.
About a week ago. Oh, Harold Thompson. Okay. I'll find out.
Yep.
Trucker Tim, I would tell my younger self not to get rid of my paid 2016 4x4 Crew Cab Silverado 18 months after buying it was inherently right. Yeah, God, there's a lot of little things I could tell myself. That'd be awesome, right? Can you imagine hindsight being like a thing you could use?
Yep.
Probably wouldn't be awesome though, because probably everybody could do it. That'd just be how it would work. Whatever. Bet you're glad I wasn't on the Seabright yet for this incident. Even though not my fault, right? Hey, look,
So it's not your fault, so it doesn't go against our loss rate. So,
well, provided the other guy has enough insurance.
true.
That's one of the things that we found out a lot was that, a car comes in, takes out the big truck, trailer, cargo, everything, but they only have $10,000 worth of insurance.
Right, and that doesn't even fix the bumper.
Right? That's a weird thing. I don't even know how that's allowed out there. Like, seriously. And then you have
and yet the opposite scenario ends up in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, which hits our insurance because we have that much insurance.
Right. And there's that whole thing where they only have $10,000 worth of insurance. And gosh, just, rebuilding the front end and your bumper is going to exceed that, right? Mm-hmm. And then that affects our loss rates because it's dipping into the surplus and all the back end crazy insurance stuff, right? It just sucks. Yeah, Matt. Hey, I'm actually curious, Matt. And I know you will, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Definitely keep us posted on how this whole process goes, because I can share a little bit of my experience in the past where when I asked for lost wages and things like that, they ignored me, laughed at me, told me, pound sand, get your own lawyer. All we
Mhm.
care about is fixing our truck. That's it.
I got
And
life's wages on
nothing wrong
one.
with my truck in that accident.
I had a student fall asleep at the wheel one time, and it cut my load short by 600 miles, and they paid me for that.
Oh Lord, Matt, good luck. His company is Chicago based.
Oh boy.
I'm really curious to see how this plays out now. Alfredo Trejo. Good evening, drivers. Me and my wife are expecting our first child this June, and I was wondering how you guys did it while on a lease. Could you be more specific? Are you talking about, I mean, do you guys team together, or is she at home and you're on the road? If you don't mind sharing a little more info, I mean, we can talk about it. Absolutely. I like talking about this kind of stuff. It's tough. I personally don't know what it would be like to have that tiny a child. Mine were middle school and high school back in '08, elementary and middle school in '04. It sucked for me mentally. I can't imagine having a child on the way. But I did deploy to Haiti with a child on the way, so I mean, I could tell you that sucked. That sucked a lot. I don't know if I could handle that. Yeah, let us know what information you got, man. If you're willing to share a little bit more info on it, we can definitely talk about it. Jeff, you had kids. Did you have? Yeah, you had kids while
I had
you've
3
been.
kids while I was on the road.
Yeah.
I missed 2 of them being born.
Dang it.
But I'd already been present for 3, so I think this is where you have to have a really you have to be 100% in synchronicity with your spouse on this one.
Right.
You have to decide between the two of you what's best for your family. I could tell you that having very young children at home is one of the reasons why I came up with the process of when I leave the house, I have a financial goal in mind. I'm going to make
Right.
this much money, and then I'm going to go home. And then when I'm home, I'm home. I'm not worried about money. The biggest stresses that I've had is when I haven't made quite the money I should have, and then went home anyway. Well, now I'm home, which is great, but I'm worried about paying the bills because I didn't make the money that I said I was going to make.
So Alfredo followed up, Jeff. He said, she's home and I'm on the road. And he's talking about like saving up for the weekly deductions and all that sort of thing. That's really, I mean, you were actually touching on that, planning on that and figuring out what's best for you guys. You definitely have some financial goals. You're probably going to want to take some time off, right? I mean, let's be real. Plan ahead for that. Don't let yourself be in the hole.
I could tell you what I would do is I would just use my maintenance account.
Right? Just
So
dump as much.
if you're on a traditional lease, bump up your maintenance account a little bit. And then what you do is each week when the settlement hits, you just do yourself a little advance to settlement to cover your fixed expenses. That's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, I would max it out, your maintenance account if you can. Just and just don't touch it. Save it for that point in time when it comes down. Maybe you're home for a week, maybe you're home for a couple weeks. I mean, it's up to you what you're going to do, right? I don't know your particular situation. I would look. My kids are destined to be C-section children, right? It's just a thing with Rosie. If she was pregnant today, that would be weird for me. Can you imagine having a kid at 53? No, I'm not prepared for that. That's why I have grandkids.
Ask Billy Bob. He knows.
Oh, right. Hey, Wade, good to see you, buddy. Wade checking in from Virginia. But yeah, so nice. And Donna said, and an extremely good support network for the spouse at home in case of emergency, right? That's make sure you got good people around your wife and your family and stuff like that. I hope you can count on them. Oh, but
she had a lot of support from both church and family. So
right.
That helps quite a bit.
You testing your blood? your phone was talking about the test strip. Anyhow, yeah, home time. Nice, Wade. But yeah, be able to plan as best you can, and then plan for some extra if possible, man. I mean, save everything you can so that you're not, kind of upset later yourself because you couldn't stay as long as you wanted to, or something along those lines.
Mhm.
That's what I. Oh, look, there's my emotional support wife. Good vibes and good support system. Hi, love. Hi, baby. God, I miss you. You missed it earlier. I was train wreck. I showed a picture of you and me when we were like 16. People said you're beautiful, and I'm a toad. But that's fine.
So Big
Tim,
Dog, go ahead.
Tim said I also had to sacrifice time at home leading up to my daughter's birth, but thankfully this was before the freight market dropped in mid 2021. Going back to Big Dog, Buddy was going to lease a new truck. Fixed cost Swift Gay was a little over 1,000. Is that about right?
So you have to define what they're considering fixed costs. If you're talking about the lease, all the insurance, and the recommended maintenance account, yes. Because I think what are the new trucks, Charlie? They're getting up there around 700 again, aren't they?
They're actually dropping some, but yeah, and let's call it 650 for right now, just for a good round number,
So that's your truck payment, but then you've got insurance,
right?
and you should be holding back money for maintenance. So yeah, I
Right.
would say $1,100-$1,200 for everything.
And then you figure in things like Best Pass and the communication
Right.
equipment and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a lot there. I think my fixed nut before insurance is like 7. I usually know this, but I want to say it's around 730 right now. Add in insurance, I think is another 2 something like that. I don't know. It's like, I pay like $1,000 a month for all of my insurances. So however that calculates out. But yeah, so I actually think that 950 range is probably a pretty safe number for fixed costs on what they call the fixed costs. Yeah, it was just an insurance, but yeah, so they charge what was it, $8 for Best Pat here. I should probably just look and not guess, right? Since we're
You got your
talking,
base pass, you've got your tablet. Um,
let me pull mine up real quick. I can give you actual real numbers on some of this stuff. Oh, so my truck payment is $670. Communication equipment, which is the tablet, is $17 a week. FHUT is $15 a week. Best Pass is $8 a week. And that's pretty much it for that. But then I have my insurance. I'm insured through Seabright, so that doesn't show up on my settlement. But that's $1017 a month. Let me do some math. 1017 times 12 equals divided by 52 equals $234.69 a week. So yeah, it's a thing.
and you have all the extras with Seabright, yeah.
Yeah, most of them, not all of them. I actually don't have the personal expense stuff.
Right, because you're Your
I don't
stuff
pay
is
for
the
glass
same way.
coverage because I'm in Florida.
right.
Something else. Oh, but I also pay for 2 OCACs and 2 accident reimbursement policies. So that's an extra whatever that is. Off the top of my head, I can't think of what it is right now. Sorry. But yeah, so it's higher than a solo would be. To the tune of, God, I want to say roughly 170, 200 thereabouts for the month.
Mhm.
Yeah. Alfredo said, I recently switched to Seabright and I'm still waiting for Swift insurance deduction to be removed. Yeah, that should happen pretty quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has to happen on a given date because there can't be an overlap in coverages. So I would ask, how long ago did you make the switch? Because it should happen within a week or two, right?
Yeah. And if it's more than that, we should probably talk a little more. And just make sure that Swift is aware of what happened and that it's swapping and all that stuff. So this dude's company, Matt said, this dude's company only, I lost it. This dude's company only carries 750K and BIPD. Yeah, whatever that means exactly. I don't know what BIPD is. I don't know.
Huh.
That's a new set of letters I've never seen. I don't know those letters. There's several different ways of saying several different things. That was helpful, wasn't it? Yeah. So Alfredo, I would, like we were saying, just to kind of round it all up for you, man, just plan ahead, bro. Figure out, get a rough idea on how much time you think you might need, and then pad it more just in case. Right?
Bodily injury and property damage insurance.
Oh, look at Jeff with the Googles.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think that would cover you, Matt, because if you're over 750K, you're doing some magic stuff, and I'm just not even going to expect you to drive anymore. Just saying.
Yep.
Did a safer web search on the DOT number. Nice. There you go. What kind of safety record do they have? How many trucks? That's interesting info. You can sometimes use that to your benefit in a lawsuit, just saying.
Yep.
You may need a lawyer, though, bro. Just going to throw that out there ahead of time. You may find that you actually need that. His pinky hurts. Oh, no. You're funny. But yeah. Did I miss anything back there? Oh, yeah, Trucker Tim, just, don't forget about your variable costs like fuel, things like that. When we're talking about fixed costs, we're pretending like the truck is not moving. These are going to come out every single week, no matter what. Right? And then do yourself a favor and break that cost down into your daily rate. How much does it cost for your truck to sit there and do absolutely nothing? How much does it cost for your truck to run each day? So if you're running so many miles, what's your average miles per gallon? What's your average fuel price? These are all things you should be tracking and be able to have a pretty good answer for, right? Yep. Right now, I can tell you that I'm running right around 8.4, 8.5-ish every day on most of my runs. I had a definite drop in fuel mileage. I was finally averaging. I had a lifetime average over 9 for a while, which finally had me happy. And now I'm back down to like 8.5, and that's bummed me out. But, I can
do those checks.
Well, I know exactly what it is. It was, I quit using max mileage because of that one batch that I got, and I never got an answer, and I need to follow up on that, and I just haven't. And then winter hit, but winter I shouldn't be having a fuel mileage hit because I don't run winter blend fuel. But yeah, there's all kinds of things, and I had some other wacky things all happen at the same time. But yeah, it's a thing. Donna said, we would set aside 15% in a savings fund and another 10% in an emergency fund each week. That got us through a lot of the tough times. There you go. Those are good hard numbers to work with.
And I like to buy an extra can of soup or something when I'm at Walmart and just put it in the basement.
Right? That's good thinking.
Over time, it makes a difference. So if you hit bad times, you got food, right?
Chris's battery question. How long should battery last? That's what he was asking. He said his aren't holding a good charge even with the battery saver running. And what should he be looking at buying new batteries for, Jeff?
I mean, typically mine lasts about 2 years.
Yeah.
And I never did get like the red tops like all you guys talk about. I didn't get to that point. So I was just getting batteries from the Swift shop, which aren't great batteries. Um, and you know all the equipment I run in my truck, Charlie,
Right.
microwave, freezer, all that stuff. Just one of the things too, though, is if you're going to run like cooking equipment like I do, idle the truck when you're using it. Don't let the
Yeah.
batteries get drained. That's
Right.
one thing. Another thing that I do is when the truck is at home, I put it on a trickle charger the whole time I'm home. Get them a nice full charge that couple days that I'm home, and that seems to extend the life of just about any battery if you do that.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of these battery chargers had that recondition mode and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, I buy batteries at AutoZone.
Get in
I
the
go
zone.
in, yeah. I go there and I buy their commercial truck batteries. There's a couple videos back. I don't know how long ago it was. I talked about the specific price of what I paid for them then. They come with like a 18-month warranty or something like that, right? And it's funny because even the AutoZone guys are like, hey, in like 11 months, maybe it's a 12-month warranty. They're like, in 11 months, come back in and say, hey, we test my batteries. They're not quite holding the charge. And he said, and then we'll just replace those batteries because they're warranty. And what I typically do is I go in and I say, hey, will you test my batteries? And they test them. They're like, oh, let's just swap them out. And then I'll take that set and run those for a year. And then I go back and I buy another set. So I get 2 years out of the price of one set of batteries. I want to say around 130-ish bucks. I was easily getting 2 years before out of those very batteries, but they dropped the warranty period on them. They used to be 2-year warranty batteries. And, I'd get new batteries every 2 years. I'd pay for the first set, they'd replace one, and I'd pay for the next set. It seemed fair to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said, I would say we get an average of 2 winters out of their batteries. By the third winter, they need changed in her fleet. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different battery strategies. I also typically go in and do some manual cleaning of all of my electrical connections on the inside the battery box each summer just before the winter hits. I go in, I disconnect everything, I clean all the terminals, all the posts, all the cables. I make sure everything's secure, tight, routed, nice, and good new zip ties on everything. And then I seal all of the connections. I can't remember who makes it. It's a red can that I buy at AutoZone, as a matter of fact. And it's a battery terminal sealer. And you spray it on.
Yep.
And it seals everything and keeps that corrosion from building up underneath it. When I take them apart, the same company also has a battery cleaning and a terminal cleaner type product. You spray it on there, it foams up, it eats anything else away. And you just kind of hit it with a brush real quick, hose it off with water, and they're clean and sparkly again. It's amazing.
Yeah, I remember I did the terminal cleaning about a year ago, and I asked you about that, and I went and bought that stuff, and it works really well. And if you're like me, guys, before you take anything apart, and Alan Becker actually told me make sure you do this because he's like me, he forgets stuff. Take a picture of the batteries before you take anything apart.
Right.
That way you have a reference for where all the wires go, so you don't do the backwards thing.
Right. Right.
And there's a good number of you that are like, how do you not just know that? Okay, I don't. So that's my solution.
Right. I remember the first time I took apart the battery wiring in Chewy. I failed to do that. And I'm telling you here, because in that battery compartment on the old Century, it was kind of wonky and nothing was like zip tied in the right place to kind of guide you back to where they should be. Right. Oh, it was a thing. Oh my God. I had a hell of a time. After that, I learned to zip tie everything real well and take a picture just in case, like Jeff said.
Yep.
Matt said the same thing. Take a picture. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the features. So these guys talk about how hard it is to get to their battery boxes. One of the features I love about the Cascadia is that side panel just comes off.
Yep. And like
And it
Michael
makes
said,
it really easy.
if you're replacing one battery, I would absolutely recommend doing all 4 batteries. If for whatever, let's just say you don't have the money to do all 4 today, I would do at least 2 and do the next 2 in a week or 2, but not
Yeah.
much longer than that. You really want to keep those kind of in the same date range and things like that, so they wear more even together. And if you got one that's truly going bad over the others on a regular basis, there's something wrong in the way things are wired. Maybe it's pulling a load off of one too much versus the other. That's been my experience. Yeah, Rosie, that was a mess that first time. It was, oh my God, where does it all go? And I had some tiny little wires that connected to stuff, and I'm like, these don't fit anywhere. Oh gosh. Look, Lisa did wires backwards and caught a dump truck on fire. There you go. Just
Nice.
saying. Tim said he would clean his, but they're just so hard to reach. Tim's in a Freightliner. Sir, do some yoga stretches beforehand. I don't know. I'm just messing with you, man.
Man, I was hoping. I just looked it up again. I look at this every once in a while, but the Maxwell Start module, it's like they went out of business or something.
They're hard
really
to get a hold of. Well, they started working with an OEM.
Yeah.
And I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Peterbilt. And they started making it an option or a standard feature on some of those trucks or a minor upgrade. And all of the stock was going there. I mean, they made a good choice for themselves. You know, lock into a certain amount every year where you don't have to worry about it and you don't have the ups and downs and all that kind of nonsense. But I don't know. Matt said, according to the Freightliner text, the front 2 batteries are for starting, but they're parallel for the inverter. Okay. I don't know. I'm sticking with replace them all. Life on 18 wheels. I remember when Swift had those trash pack car batteries. I had changed one battery because of the egg smell until they got different. Yeah. And they were expensive, if I remember right. I remember one time I had to replace a battery out at a TA down there on I-5, down there towards Salem-ish, Jeff. Those dudes got me for $700 on an interstate battery. One battery.
What?
Bro,
Seriously?
and I was trapped. Yeah, it sucked so bad. I was pissed.
That's a little excessive.
Oh, it was a lot excessive. It was just garbage. 3-minute warning, Lisa said. 3-minute warning, y'all. Last few minutes here.
So who was it that you said had a Freightliner?
Tim? Tim, yeah. I'm pretty sure Tim has a
So
Freightliner.
Tim, if you look at that battery box, there's bolts that put it together that are pretty easy to remove. They're on the side. The whole box actually it's in 4 pieces. But for just cleaning the terminals, though, I just got my lawn chair out and sat next to the truck and
right. See, I physically take the batteries out, set them aside. It's like the
cool thing too, Charlie, too. One thing you didn't say is so that battery cleaner that you recommended to me, and we should probably put that up like on the group or something.
Right.
One of the other things it does is it will it'll foam.
Yeah.
If there's battery acid.
Yeah, it's a good indicator.
So it's got a chemical reaction in it that when you spray it on the cleaner on there, if there's battery acid leaking from the battery, it'll foam up. I think it's blue or something. And let you know, hey, you've got is it pink?
Yeah.
Okay. Pinky foam.
And there's always a little bit here and there, But you'll see it if it's really bad. It'll really go nuts.
Yeah.
All right,
Overall
guys.
battery maintenance is something that we don't talk about often enough, I think.
Yeah, we
there's
should do it
nothing
at
worse
least
than
once a
being up
year,
in
right?
Montana. Nothing worse than being up in Montana in that sub-zero temperatures and your truck won't start because, hey, you didn't check your batteries before the cold season.
For real.
There's about
right,
2,000 different videos on YouTube on how to test your batteries yourself, by the way.
Yep. Good multimeter is a great tool to have on your truck and learn how to use it. There's tons of videos out there that'll teach you how to do that. A 9mm barrel brush and put it on a drill to clean the terminal connections.
And for crying out loud, don't get a 10mm barrel brush because you'll just lose it. Ah!
See what you did there? All right, guys. On that note, we're gonna wrap this thing. Jeff, come on, take us out. He froze.
Oh, there you are.
There you are. Welcome back, sir. That was perfect timing.
All right. So are we wrapping then?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Say words.
Say words.
Yep. Take us out,
You know what I'm
sir.
going to say? Remember, with no action, there is no traction. And keep that rubber side down. Be safe out there. There's a bunch of storms going on in the Northeast right now. Roads closed, and like entire interstates are closed up there right now. And then also, I was reading earlier, Denver's getting hit. So it's pretty much all over again, just like it was a couple of weeks ago.
Give my line, Jeff.
What?
You're doing my part too. You're taking us out.
Why am I doing your part? That's
Because, sir, I said so. I got the button.
You're going to make me swear. Take care of each other out there. Nobody's out there looking out for us but us, guys. Be safe.